Okay. So having seen this, that global warming and climate change is intensifying these events, that means an added pressure. So let's come to the different uh, extreme weather events which affect the regions in our seven, the participants of the seven countries. So all, if you see the pattern is similar kind of thing. So you have cyclones affecting Myanmar, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and India. Then you have your uh, heat waves affecting almost all the countries. You have flooding. When you have cyclone, you also have flooding. Then you also have extreme thunderstorms leading to very heavy or extremely heavy precipitation. Again, that leads to floods in the plains and in the mountains. It leads to flash floods. It can lead to, just a moment, it can lead to flash floods. It can lead to flash floods. And then you have thunderstorms in some places. And even if you talk about Afghanistan and even India, we also have dust storms. But naturally, the areas of the Afghanistan which touches the Iran has very high frequency of dust storms in a particular month or in a year. Then you also have issues related to, along with the thunderstorm, hailstorm. You have, if your temperatures high, we call heat waves. You have, and then when the temperatures are low in the mountains, especially, you have cold waves. You also have fog. You have drought. Naturally, when the rain is less, you have drought. You have landslides. You have pest and diseases. You have long dry spell. Then, in addition to that, the countries which are near to the sea, there's a problem of sea level rise. But again, we have to be very clear: is it sea level rise or it is the subsidence of land? One needs to be very clear on that. There is some salinization issues. There is erosional issues. So these are some of the. If you see, frost is also another issue in the mountains. So these, in turn, are the most of the extreme weather events. There could be even fog also. Some areas like India, it's a big issue, and then definitely the areas near to the ocean and all, they must be also having fog. Of course, in the mountain regions, if you go beyond 2,000 meters, frequency is less. If at all it happens in the monsoon season when there is the moisture. So I think I have covered most of the extreme weather events which are possible and which affect our region. If there is anything missing, please let me know. You can type it. Now, as you know, if we talk about uh, our region, so which are the major weather systems? So if you see, it is one is cyclone, which affects Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Myanmar, India, and to some extent, when these cyclonic systems move inland, they might, as their remnants, might affect even Nepal and Bhutan. It has happened in the past. I think if you talk about Nepal and Bhutan, I think in 2004, I think there was Hudud, the Montha was in 2025, and in Amphan was in 2020. These are three cases of cyclones which has moved inland from the Bay of Bengal, and then this, as naturally you know, when they enter into the land because of friction, their speed decreases, the system weakens, but they still have lots of, moisture, and they can dump lots of moisture, can affect people. So there are three cases recently which happened and affected Nepal and Bhutan. I think Afghanistan is the least affected. I think there is one particular case, if I remember, it is maybe Yemen was a cyclone in 2007, which affected the part of the Afghanistan which was near to the Pakistan side, and there were some hundreds of people were also killed. Normally, otherwise, Afghanistan is rarely affected by the cyclone. So this is one big system which affects, most of the areas of our region. Then in next major weather system is your monsoon, especially the southwest monsoon. Again, it affects, most of the countries of our region, except maybe Afghanistan. Again, the areas of Afghanistan, which is near to the Pakistan, it may be getting affected because of southwest monsoon. And in addition to that, we also have northeast monsoon, and maybe in Sri Lanka, India, and maybe part of Myanmar might be getting affected because of the northeast monsoon as well. So these are the systems, I mean, major systems which affect our region. And third major system is your western disturbances, which gives lots of rain and snowfall and or precipitation, especially in the winter months. And even now, this year, it is in April, it is, I mean, March, and we had a good activity. So Afghanistan gets lots of rain and snowfall because of western disturbances. India gets it, and Nepal, Bhutan also gets lots of rainfall and snowfall because of western disturbances. So these three systems are very important. And in addition to that, you also have again extreme weather event of blizzard, which may be affecting our Afghanistan, I mean higher reaches of India, and maybe higher reaches of uh, Nepal or Bhutan also. In addition to this, there is another system, GLOF. This is glacial lake outburst flood. That is also an extreme weather event which affects Nepal, Bhutan to lesser extent, but maybe India, and to small extent maybe Afghanistan. So these are the major systems which affect our, I mean, countries, and definitely when these systems are the synoptic situation is right and they are very strong systems, they lead to extreme weather events. And you all know these extreme weather events, they bring lots of rain or whatever, strong winds, and in the case of cyclones, rain, strong winds, as well as storm surge, and leading to lots of destruction, and billions of dollars of worth of damages occur, lots of loss to, I mean, lives as well as property, which puts our economies, I mean, back by decades. But if we are able to predict them well in advance and give up appropriate early warning, impact based forecast, then we can definitely prevent these hazards. Basically, these are all hazards. So we will stop these hazards becoming disaster, and we can save lots of lives. Definitely, sometimes you can't save property because property is, it's not movable, it is there, so you can't do much. And lots of damages are also increasing because lots of people are constructing and living in vulnerable areas, floodplains they are constructing, or in mountains where there is a high probability of, you know, that there are heavy, very heavy and extremely heavy precipitation is a normal feature of Himalayas. And if you are in a fragile area where you have put dynamites, you have cut vegetation, trees, etc., then definitely landslides will increase, and it generally happens. So we have to be very clear. Siting of, I mean, for housing, building, schools, hospital, it's very, very important thing, and the building laws are equally important, and building material. So if you take care of this, you are well prepared, and there is a proper warning, early warning, then you can prevent a hazard becoming a disaster. So I will here take a particular case of 2013, which Dr. Nabanshu Chattopadhyay just discussed with you just now. There was a major event in the Himalayas, especially in the northern, central Himalayas, I should call it, the state known as Uttarakhand, where I was the director. I was the founder director of that mythological center of IMD in that state. So there on, you know, there was precipitation, especially on 16th and 17th, there was very heavy precipitation, and in some area maybe extremely heavy precipitation, leading to lots of death and destruction. So I would just discuss that particular case. So this will help you. It has lots of takeaway points, and which may help you people in future if you are in your areas how to tackle these kind of things. There's a lot of science in this. There's a lot of politics also involved in it. So I'll start with this. So this Kedarnath, as I said, Kedarnath is a place, it's a holy place. That means for the Hindus, most of the people who live in India, of course, India is a very secular country where we have people practicing different religions, all sorts, all possible religions are here in India. Okay, but people who are Hindus, they especially go to Uttarakhand because there are four very holy places there known as Gangotri, Yamnotri, Badrinath and Kedarnath. This particular event is of Kedarnath. So in the and these they are known as this is known as yatras. That means pilgrims go to these high altitude mountain areas. Kedarnath is at a height of 3,500 meters. You can imagine how high is that altitude. And it's in the rainy season. And you know that Himalayas are known for the heavy, very heavy, and extremely heavy rainfall. It's a normal feature of Himalayas during the monsoon season. Floods, flash floods. Mountains, you have flash floods. Plains, you have floods. Flash floods and landslides are a normal feature. So, okay, in spite of all these vulnerabilities, people still go there. Many of them go on foot. They leave about 10 or 15 days before because it's a long distance and it is a very arduous track in the mountains. So it takes a lot of time to reach there. So people go there. And some people go by cars also to the nearest possible place. Some people go by helicopter as well as to nearest place, and then the last leg they have to either track or just walk. Okay, so this is the case. So this particular, as I told, lot of people have faith in this. This yatra. They feel that if they go and visit these holy sites, they will get salvation. And because lots of people go there, it's a huge money earner for the state government because a lot of people come and spend there. They stay in hotels, they eat food, they hire taxis. So they spend lots of money. So you can imagine, and it's a great employer. Lots of thousands and thousands of people get jobs. So you can imagine the importance of this, isn't it? And but then naturally, when you are in a very what you call as fragile environment where ecology is fragile, prone to extreme events, and it's a monsoon season, and still lot people in lakhs and lakhs visit this area. So you can imagine how difficult it is. So it is a challenge. It's a governance challenge, and then I mean it's because disaster. It's a disasters are possible anytime, and then how to organize in a very peaceful manner all this thing. It's a big challenge. And then definitely, whatever happens here, it happens such a large scale. Some of the people in Western countries may not be able to understand how many lakhs and lakhs of people go to such a difficult terrain. So these are some of the issues associated. Chaturpal, you can move to the next one. Okay. So this is just a map showing India and gives you the location. And then maybe next it will give you where exactly we are located. We are somewhere in the north. Yes, this is a state we are talking about from the map. So you can imagine it's in the central Himalayas. It's known as the state of Kedarnath, and the place where is in the Kedarnath. And I've already told this is at a height of something like 3,500 meters above the mean sea level. Next. So this is again, as I said, it has spiritual and cultural angles, as you can see. As I told you earlier, also people go there because they feel they get the divine blessings. This is their, thinking, and it's a journey for the soul purification. They feel if they visit that place, so their soul gets purified. Whatever bad things they have done, their sins are washed, and if at all they die also they don't mind because they feel it's a moksha, they have got salvation, so they will get better birth next time. So and then it transcends caste, creed and regional boundaries, reflecting the inclusive essence of Hindu way of life. It's not only that Hindus go, people from other religions also contribute. Some of the pony people, hoteliers, they are from the different religions. So this is an excellent example where different religions come together and help each other in organizing this kind of yatra. Next one. So you can imagine 30 plus billion people, and this chart is about different weather seasons we have. We all know. I don't know about other countries. We normally have 4 seasons: winter, January, February, March, April, May is your some hot weather season, and June, July, August, September is our southwest monsoon season, and October, November, December is either post monsoon, and for South India, it's northeast monsoon. And 60 to 70% of the annual rainfall we get in these 4 months: June, July, August, September. I'm mentioning here especially the June to September because this is the southwest monsoon season when India gets 60 to 70% of its annual rainfall. And especially in the mountains, this amount is very, very high. And this is the time when people take these yatras. And I also mentioned that in India, if the rain is between 70 to 120 millimeters, we call it heavy. And if it is 120 to something like 249 or 250, it is called very heavy. And it's above 245 or rounding, it will make 250 and above. It is extremely heavy kind of rainfall. So these are the things we face in India. Next. Yeah. So again, now here, this particular slide, I'm telling it here, the importance of a good weather forecast. What are the attributes of a good weather forecast? First forecast is that it should be timely. That means whatever forecast, whether it is for your agriculture purpose or disaster management point of view, any aviation, it should be timely. That means I should be able to give you a forecast, weather forecast about an event before the event happens. So it's called timely. The next attribute of a good forecast is accurate. That means the forecast whatever I am giving, it should be accurate. Third attribute is impact based. That means if I am saying heavy rain, I should also be able to tell you that whether this heavy rain is what impact it is going to create on you. Either if it's a low lying area, it can lead to flooding, or it can lead to flooding, it can lead to landslides. So I should also tell you the impact. That actionable and usable. See, whatever forecast I am giving, it should be such a, way that there should not be any ambiguity, and it should be in simple language and actionable. Because if you are able, planners or even a common man, if he is able to understand my forecast and he knows what impact this forecast is going to give, it becomes actionable or usable. So that's very important. So the forecast, so these are some of the attributes. Why I am showing you this thing? Because the weather forecast of this disaster I had given to the state government 3 to 4 days in advance, and it had all these attributes. So it was one of the best forecasts, I should say, in the history of India as well as anywhere in the world. Okay, so this is just, okay, next, move, please move fast. Next, this again is just showing the temple and the place over there. Next. This is again, you see, this is some statue of Lord Shiva they have put in Rishikesh down near the Dehradun. It's a plain area where in the Ganga River, and you can see how much the water level has increased downstream after the event. So here it says casualties. So naturally, when this disaster happened in 2013, such a major event happened on 16th and 17th of June, the government claims that it was only 6,000 casualties, that means plus casualties. But actually, in actuality, it was more than 15 to 20,000 people lost their lives. And numerous buildings, hotels, and houses, they were all destroyed because they were constructed in the floodplains. Now, you may ask, why so many casualties when I said that I have given the best forecast to the government? So what was the problem? So now you see over here, the response from the state government was not adequate. State government did not take action, or if at all they took the action, it was half-hearted action. Again, there was an early warning from the meteorological department. I was a director, so I had given the weather forecast and warning to the state government, but there was no response. So that means early warning without early response or early action has no meaning. Then, in addition to that, some of the people, they, like I told you, they walk to the Kedarnath, or they take mules. Mules. They sit on that and they go there. So the people who operate those mules, they were asking the government to raise their rates, but government did not agree. So they were on strike. So lots of tourists were stranded there. And once it started raining, it was very difficult for them to go back because there was nothing was available, and they were not in a position to walk because they were either old or they had some issues and they were not trained to walk in the mountains. And there was no registration of pilgrims was done by the government. They had not taken their mobile numbers, their vehicle numbers. I mean, and there were no barriers, there were no shelters. Suppose when the rain started, they could have moved to a shelter. There was no shelters. No barriers were put so that they stop people from coming, but people kept on coming. There were no alternate roads, there was only single road, and it got destroyed. And once the bad weather started, people didn't know what to do. Many of them were washed away. Many, didn't know what to do. They moved towards the forests. They died there because there was no water for them. There was no food. The temperatures were low, too cold. And many times what happens, people who go there, they don't have the idea that they are going to a height of 3,500 meters. If it starts raining there, sometimes it starts even snowing there, even in the month of June and July. So this is what happened. And then temperatures come down to minus. And if they do not have adequate clothing or jackets, etc., or proper shoes or umbrella, raincoat, they will die of hypothermia. And that is what happened with the people. So basically, many people do not factor this kind of information into their planning. So, and again, now here you must also know what are the key challenges of giving weather forecast in Himalayas, because giving a weather forecast in a plain area is totally different from giving weather forecast in a mountainous terrain, especially for like Bangladesh, part of Bangladesh, then Nepal, Bhutan, India, and Afghanistan. It is very difficult. The reason very difficult because we have limited observatories, because whatever observatories we have, they are tend to be in the valleys. They are not in the high peaks, and there are no observatories in some of the countries above 3,500 meters. Maybe Nepal has something, some observatory even 3,500 meters. And then there's no upper air observatories at those areas. And topography or orography is so complex, and the models you have, they do not have valley-based models because each valley has its own kind of behavior. Normal model is very difficult for normal GSF model, GFS models, and all those WRF models. They're not very good at that because the resolution is not that fine, which is required for a valley, and each valley has its own behavior. So these are some of the issues which make weather forecasting a difficult thing in the Himalayas, right? And next, and then what led to this kind of event? Why this event happened? What were the synoptic suggestions? So as I told you earlier, we had discussed that our areas of all these 7 countries affected mainly by the cyclone, monsoon, which are in the monsoon we have low pressure systems which develop in the Bay of Bengal, and then you have western disturbance which we move from west to east. In this particular case, a low pressure system had formed in the Bay of Bengal, and western disturbance, or I should say deep westerly trough. What basically it's a low pressure system which forms over Mediterranean and Caspian Sea region, and they move from west to east. Normally, they are quite active in the winter season when they come down to the lower latitudes, but we keep getting them throughout the year. And this particular time, this trough was so deep, it was bringing moisture from the Mediterranean Caspian Sea. And once it reaches the Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea, it picks up moisture from there also. And these two systems, when westerly trough moves from west to east, and the easterly system, which moves from east to west. That means the low pressure system from the Bay of Bengal was moving from east to west, and a trough was moving from west to east. And these two systems, when they reach somewhere over eastern Rajasthan, they try to interact. And this trough being stronger, it recurves this low pressure system, and now this low pressure system hits Himalayas. Himalayas is like this. I think I am showing like my elbow, like Himalaya. This side, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Afghanistan this side, and then you have Jammu Kashmir and this region, Himachal, Uttarakhand, like this, and then you have Nepal and maybe Myanmar down below. Okay, so this is how. So then this low pressure system recurves and it hits the Himalayas at right angles, dumping all the moisture, and it's a place which is near to the Kedarnath. So I had studied a research paper about which was written something maybe 50, 60 years ago by someone. So my concept was clear, and also I had worked earlier as a head of the flood met office, and my responsibility was to give the weather warnings for the Yamuna catchment. So that is the river which flows from the mountains down. So I knew when the flood comes, when these kind of interaction between a westerly and easterly system happens. Okay, so and in addition to this, I mean, the model was indicating that there is an interaction possible on the 17th of June. 17th, suddenly, I mean, model was not indicating in the sense, but it was just giving heavy rainfall on 17th of June. And this was, I think, somewhere on 12th or 13th of June, I saw this. Then immediately I said the model is indicating, but there is no weather system over the country as such. But when I looked to the east, there was a low pressure in the Bay of Bengal. When I looked toward the west, there was a trough which was moving from your Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan side towards India. So that immediately I remembered my conceptual model that this is what happens when these two systems interact. Based on this and the observation, I saw lots of moisture was being pumped, clouds were developing, so that was a good indication, and temperatures were very high. The temperatures were very, that means the atmosphere had a great capacity to hold lots of moisture. And this all moisture was being pushed to the Himalayas, where orography helps it to go further up, leading to formation cloud and rainfall and interaction. So all these combination of things helped in, and we had heavy, very heavy and extremely heavy precipitation in different parts of Uttarakhand. Not only Kedarnath, but nearby regions, other places also got affected. And as a result, because it's a fragile area, we have already done lots of disturbance there, either building hotels, resorts, homes, etc. in the floodplains. And we have also done lots of deforestation. We have put lots of dynamite to widen the roads. So all these things, so you had the ideal recipe. You had extreme rainfall. You had lots of people there at the, I should say, wrong place at the wrong time. And when the heavy precipitation started, they had no place to go. And suddenly there was flash flood, then there was landslide. And I think we have given here in the charts amount of rainfall, etc. also. And then people were washed away. They didn't know what to do. It all happened so fast from 16th June night and 17th of night. And the best part is that from 13th only, 13th June onward, I had told the state government and told all the media. There were news in the newspapers on the front page saying that weather department has given heavy to very heavy rain warnings, and they have also told there will be landslides, and we had also said postpone Char Dham Yatra, don't go there. We have requested the government to postpone the yatra, okay, this pilgrimage. And we also told if you are in the mountains, go to the safe places, and if you are in the plains, do not go to the mountains. So this was a very clear instruction. There was no ambiguity. It was timely. Of course, there are people who leave for Kedarnath 10 days before. So they definitely didn't listen to our focus because they go on foot. And there was no indication at that time for us to know that such and such event on such, for example, 7th of June, that there will be very heavy rainfall event on 17th. We had no idea, no model was indicating it. The moment we got the first indication, immediately I thought about all this and we issued this thing. So these are some of the satellite pictures showing you the cloud top temperatures and the clouds and all those things. Next, you can move fast. So these are again just showing you the rain and all those things. Next may not be very important for all here. So again, this is showing the trough and the low pressure system interaction. Next. This again, you can skip all these fast. This is again giving you the rainfall. So now question is, was warning given? Yes, warning was issued. Then question, as I told you, then question comes, then why so many people died? The reason is very clear, because government took it very lightly. They didn't act. They were told specifically to postpone yatra. So we had given the warnings, but and this table shows you the day on which and what kind of warnings were given. All thing is mentioned, and best part was that all these warnings were given to them over phone, through fax, through email, and they were I called them personally, called the Director of Disaster Management. I called the Inspector General of Police, who is intelligence, who is in touch with the Chief Secretary and Chief Minister of the state. I told him, please communicate this to Chief Minister and Chief Secretary. Then again, I called them on 14th. I asked them, have you told the Chief Minister and Chief Secretary? They said, yes, we have told them. So that means my job was done. I have informed. I have also informed the district magistrates and superintendent of police of each district, the district where Kedarnath is there, Rudraprayag. So there, the district magistrate and superintendent of police, these are the two key officers who take care of everything, all kinds of governance and arrangement issues. They were also told, and they were also given emails. So all those emails were there, and they're all documented. Next. This is a summary. If you see when I started giving the weather forecast and warnings, whom all I gave, on what date, everything is mentioned very clearly in this thing. Next. And these are the cuttings of the newspaper. They were on the front page. But in spite of all this thing, when people died, I mean, government did not act, people died, government started blaming Met Department. They put the blame on straight away on me, thus saying that okay, this is in Hindi. It's a local newspaper there where my photo is there. Just in 2012, 2013, this event happened. There was a seminar on Himalayas. I was asked, what do you want? I said, I just want two things from the government. First thing is that please disseminate or communicate my forecast to the last person, which is, we know it as last mile connectivity. That means there are certain areas where maybe television is not available, or light is not there in the extreme Himalayas, or there is some, but then they have satellite telephones. They also have what you call as wireless with the police. So all those things. So I requested government that you ensure that even the last person that in the remotest place also gives my weather forecast and warning. Second thing, I requested government that lots of people are living in the flood plains, which is very dangerous. If there will be any flood or flash flood, they will all go. So it was clearly mentioned in there. Okay. And then I keep this slide. Yeah. So as I told, when this happened and lots of people died, as I told you, maybe more than 15,000 more people. So government started putting blame on us. They said weather department had not given the warnings. Had they given us warning, and then we would have saved lives. So I said we had given the warnings. It is very clear. It is there, all printed in the newspaper everywhere. So they said no, they were vague warnings. But you can see by forecast everything, it was everything timely, everything was given. And best part was there, I was the first person in India Met Department to issue impact-based forecast. IMD adopted impact-based forecast in 2018. But I started impact-based forecast predicting landslides, forest fires, etc. way back in 2004 and 2005. And in 2008, I was given Excellence Award in Atmospheric Sciences for innovative weather forecasts and warnings and advisories. So it was done long time back. So I had given this all forecasts and warnings to the government, but they did not act. This is the thing. And in spite of that, they started blaming on us. But then I kept quiet. But then I said, there are people started saying that, no. I mean, you did not give the weather forecast and we will take you to the court. Then I said, it's better I go. Then I gave my emails to BBC. And BBC spread that news all over the world. And then people came to know that I, as a director in Met Center, had given these warnings to everyone well on time. It was the government who failed, and then the truth came out, and then they started threatening me. All those things are different issues, but truth came forward, and lots of newspaper and television interview, especially the before slide which I had shown. It was there by the Economic Times, which is a very prestigious newspaper of India, which has said if government had listened to Anand Sharma of the weather department, these many people would not have died. So truth came forward, as you see. I mean, just a minute. So, and they also said at that time, the government said Met Department do not have radar, so that is they could give the forecast and warnings. But it was not like that. It was not a system which was to be captured in Outcast. It was a very well established synoptic system. And then they say that it was a routine forecast because all these certificates which Dr. Nabanshu is showing in through this PPT, they are all given by the all chief secretary, chief ministers, vice chancellors. Everyone had appreciated my forecast for the last 10 years. And they all said, we have full faith in our this. But then at this particular moment, they failed to do it, and lots of people lost their lives. And it's first time in the history of 150 years of India Meteorological Department, World Bank team came to verify my forecast because a lot of controversy was created. State government was saying that it was not given, but then World Bank team came. They gave me a fantastic certificate saying that I saved lives. Many lives were saved also because of people who listened to my forecast. So government was at fault, state government was at fault. Second, it was the first time a weather forecast were taken to the court. It went to the National Green Tribunal. Again, there they verified our forecast, my forecast and everything. I was given a clean sheet. First time in the history of India Department, Comptroller and Auditor General team came and they verified all our documents. They gave us appreciation and clean sheet. First time, HUDCO, there is an organization in India, they came, verified my forecast, and they asked me to apply, send all your documents, and they gave me an award of rupees 1 lakh. First time again in the history of India Met Department. So you can imagine, in spite of giving accurate, timely, location-specific, impact-based, usable and actionable weather forecast, still action was not taken by the government. Not only that, started blaming. This is what happens. But I fought back. I fought back. And then finally, truth prevailed, and I could save my department, entire India Met Department, and I could save many lives, people who had talked to me and listened to me. So this is in brief about the extreme weather events, and these kind of events are possible in any place in Himalayas, especially, or in the mountainous regions, and the weather forecast man or there can face it kind of situation. So it's a takeaway lesson that you have to be attentive and give the other weather forecast and warning, and it should be well documented, and it should be given to the media everywhere so that you have ample proof. And after that also, you need not worry if somebody tries to threaten you to back out. Don't back out. Stay with the truth. So this is about this Kedarnath, the first part of my presentation. And the second part of the presentation is extreme weather events and agro weather advisories. Is it okay, Chattopadhyay ji? Okay. Yes. So now